In a small village many years ago, there was a young woman named Mary who was known for her beauty. She lived with her parents in a modest home on the outskirts of town. Mary was admired by many, but she was also envied by some. Her beauty was said to be unmatched, and this often led to jealousy among the other women in the village. One fateful day, Mary fell gravely ill. Her parents tried every remedy they knew, but nothing seemed to help. The villagers, who once envied her beauty, began to spread rumors that she was cursed. Despite her illness, Mary's beauty never faded, and this only fueled the gossip. As days turned into weeks, Mary's condition worsened. Her once radiant face grew pale, and her bright eyes lost their sparkle. One night, as a storm raged outside, Mary's parents heard her calling out in pain. They rushed to her side, but it was too late. Mary took her last breath and passed away. Her parents were devastated. They decided to bury her in the village cemetery, not far from their home. The villagers, filled with a mix of sorrow and relief, attended her funeral, whispering about the curse that had taken their beloved Mary. A few days after her burial, strange things began to happen. Villagers reported seeing a ghostly figure wandering the cemetery at night. Some claimed to hear whispers in the wind, calling out Mary's name. Fear spread through the village, and people began to avoid the cemetery. One night, a group of curious villagers decided to visit Mary's grave to see if the rumors were true. As they approached the cemetery, the air grew cold and an eerie silence fell over them. They saw a faint light near Mary's grave and cautiously moved closer. To their horror, they saw a ghostly figure resembling Mary, her face twisted in pain and anger. The figure vanished before their eyes, leaving them terrified. They ran back to the village, spreading the tale of the vengeful spirit that haunted the cemetery. The legend of Bloody Mary began to take shape. People started to believe that Mary's spirit could be summoned by standing in front of a mirror and chanting her name 3 times. It was said that if you did this, Mary would appear in the mirror, seeking revenge on those who had wronged her or caused her pain. Children would dare each other to summon Bloody Mary, but few had the courage to go through with it. Years passed, and the story of Bloody Mary became a local legend, passed down from generation to generation. Some believed it was just a tale to scare children, while others were convinced that Mary's spirit still roamed the earth, seeking vengeance. The village changed over the years, but the legend of Bloody Mary remained, a chilling reminder of the beautiful young woman who had died under mysterious circumstances. One evening, a young girl named Emily, who had recently moved to the village, heard the legend from her new friends. Intrigued by the story, she decided to investigate. Emily was a skeptic and didn't believe in ghosts or curses. She thought the legend of Bloody Mary was just a story to scare people. Determined to prove her point, she decided to summon Bloody Mary herself. That night, Emily stood in front of her bathroom mirror with a candle in her hand. Her heart pounded as she stared at her reflection. She took a deep breath and began to chant, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the candle flickered and the room grew cold. Emily felt a chill run down her spine. She tried to laugh it off, but her reflection in the mirror began to change. Emily watched in horror as her reflection twisted into the face of a woman she had never seen before. The woman's eyes were filled with rage, and her mouth opened in a silent scream. Emily tried to look away, but she was frozen in place. The figure in the mirror reached out towards her, and Emily felt a cold hand grasp her shoulder. She screamed and stumbled back, breaking the connection. The next morning, Emily told her friends what had happened. They didn't believe her at first, thinking she was trying to scare them. But when they saw the terror in her eyes, they realized she was telling the truth. The legend of Bloody Mary was no longer just a story, it was real. From that day on, Emily never spoke of Bloody Mary again. She warned others not to summon her, but the legend continued to spread. The tale of Bloody Mary remains one of the most chilling urban legends. It serves as a cautionary story about the dangers of vanity, jealousy, and meddling with the supernatural. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the story of Bloody Mary is sure to send shivers down your spine. So the next time you find yourself in front of a mirror, Think twice before chanting her name. You never know what might be lurking in the reflection, waiting to reach out and claim you as its next victim.